I'm a planner. So for me to even consider this as an option, like quitting my job with no backup plan, like it's literally me betting on myself. So hi everybody, my name is Essence, and this video is about me quitting my job during the middle of a pandemic and just world uncertainty. So I currently live in Chicago, Illinois, and I work as a art therapist and mental health counselor for youth, specifically Black and brown youth. And I'll start off by saying this. I really value the dedication that it takes to be a therapist. But if I'm being honest, it's really hard to be a therapist, especially during these times. I will say for me, what led me to this decision was a lot of things that were going on with me and still are going on with me internally, as far as like my thoughts and emotions, and then just the physical stress of it all. My job is so stressful that I feel like at this point I'm doing a disservice to myself and to the people that I serve by continuing to like work a job that I am just so stressed out with. And it's not even just stress, it's just kind of like navigating other people's trauma. And that can definitely take a toll on you. And people talk all the time about like self-care. What are you doing to take care of yourself? And all of those things are super important, but the reality is, in a lot of like nonprofit, because I work within nonprofit, a lot of nonprofit positions, they will overwork you and have no remorse. As far as like workload, caseloads, expectations, as far as like just unrealistic expectations, as far whether it's like you extending yourself beyond your role. I've experienced that a lot. And as a Black woman, when you set boundaries for yourself and what you will and will not do, that's not always taken well. And it sucks, to have to continuously like restate yourself and basically not be heard. So yeah, I'm a planner. So for me to even consider this as an option, like quitting my job with no backup plan, with nothing else lined up, no networking connections, for the most part, that I can reach out to and say, hey, can I be a part of your team? Like, it's literally me betting on myself. I can say that I am still learning, how to be a therapist, learning about myself, of course. And I'm also confident in the skills and knowledge that I do have. So I feel comfort in that confidence of, I know that when I apply for a job, I know that I'm capable of performing, showing up, and doing well. I just want to talk about the emotional part, y'all. Like, this is scary. Like, I'm literally scared. Today is Sunday. I'm doing this tomorrow on Monday, and of course, like, I'm gonna be professional about it, do the whole 2-week thing, all of that. But it's still scary. Like, I've been emotional I'm still emotional, but I've been emotional up until this point where I've decided, like, this is what I need to do for myself, and it doesn't really matter what other people think. And to get to this point, so like, if you're contemplating and you've made it to this point, like, you should be really proud of yourself. Like, I'm proud of myself, because, you know, a lot of people, they don't understand, like, my thought process behind this. Like, this is a full-time job, benefits, blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, like, my health and well-being comes before all of that. And feeling like I need to continue the search on, like, my purpose in life. And yeah, that's just something that I value. So and just like worrying and the anxiety, like, y'all, like, stress is related to sleep, and like, I have not been able to sleep this whole week. Just, part of it is my neighbors too, but that's another story. But not sleeping and waking up and thinking about work. Like, why is work the first thing on my mind? You know, coworkers, replaying like certain conversations, just, you know, feeling very misunderstood, feeling very overworked and used, to be honest. So yeah, if you're feeling similar to me, like, you may just want to, like, write down things that you want to manifest, write down things you want to pray about, however you want to phrase that. I think it's important to write down what you want for yourself. That has been helpful for me, and it gives me something to focus on and to put my energy towards, as I'm stepping into a new chapter, I guess you could call it. But with that is also the letting go part, which is really hard. You know, for me, like, I did everything like by the books, as you would say. You know, I went to undergrad, had a scholarship straight from undergrad. I went to graduate school. After graduate school, I got a job. Like, you know, just the basic thing, you know, that society pushes on young people. But I feel like now, especially with coronavirus and just the way that Black people are treated right now, like, we can literally see the system crumbling in front of our eyes, and it's just like, all of this for what? Like, why are y'all pushing all these narratives on us? And so for me, it's really scary to see something that you've been living by or going by or involved in, such as educational system, institution, you know, higher education basically, and just job force. When I see all of that and how fragile it really is, it's just like, I want to create the life that I want for myself, not what other people say or think that I should be doing. And I think this is a very pivotal moment for me, and now I can say I'm excited, but before, like, y'all, terrified. And I'm sure before I hit that send button tomorrow morning, I'll probably shed a tear. Like, that's just how I call my mom all the time. I'm like, help me, like, I'm just in distress. And, you know, like, I think it's very important, like, I'm sure someone will bring up the point of, like, oh, like, you should be in therapy yourself. You know, like, I've done that work as well. You know, doing the work, the inner work for yourself as a therapist. So this extends beyond all of that, and it's time for me to make a change. If you're interested, sorry, the train, again, I live right by the train tracks. So if you're interested, I would encourage you and I invite you to like join me as far as like leave a comment on if you've ever experienced a decision like this before in your life, or if you're considering it. I just want y'all to know that you are not alone, that there's at least one person, me here in Chicago, like going through this with you. And you know, I will mention this really quick, the guilt that comes along with it. Like I mentioned, we are in a pandemic and there are millions of people without a job right now. So, you know, I know that I am privileged to make a decision to quit my job when there's people literally looking for jobs right now. And I don't know what that feels like, you know, in this situation. I don't know what it's like to have been laid off, fired, whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to state that like I acknowledge the state of America right now, in the world really, but also too, like when you know it's time to make a personal decision, world circumstances like ultimately don't apply to your decision making process, and that's just my opinion. And so I had to really talk myself through that guilt and remind myself that my health and mental well-being, you know, really trumps the guilt and the narrative that my mind is like replaying or like going over in different scenarios and all of that. I just kind of want to get back to like my roots as far as things that I'm interested in and creating like content around that, regardless of, you know, who's interested or not, like just doing things for me. So that may include like hair videos, which is originally why I started my YouTube channel, but also too like art therapy videos. Like, what is art therapy? You know, how do I describe art therapy as a Black woman? And so, and also like financial freedom. Like I just want to like go on a journey with people who have similar goals and interests, and just share. So I am reclaiming that for myself. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and you can follow me at Instagram. And yeah, so thank y'all for watching.